Thank you for staying with us. Nigerian politics is considered a dirty game. Yes, for those of you who know. It's a dirty game, according to some people. The era of high-profile fetish practices, lies and campaigns. Nigerian politics is very murky, and a lot of upright people do not want to participate in it. And one would wonder why.
Definitely. And joining us in our studio to talk about all of this, we have Martins Lomba, political analyst and commentator. Thank you very much for coming back. And Ugochukwu, Ikeakor. Now, let me just quickly throw in this interesting quote from Niccolò Machiavelli, an Italian politician, who says, "Politics has no relation to morals." Now, we've heard stories of fetishes, fetish display, and a whole lot more. Can you share with us some of the stories you might have heard and why you think politics in Nigeria and elsewhere in the world might just be dirty?
Well, a few years back, the current Minister of Labour was then the governor of Anambra State, my state, and he was kidnapped and he was taken to a very popular shrine, Okija Shrine, and he was made to swear, and despite the fact that he's a Catholic, you know. This is part of the story that a lot of people know in Nigeria. So when people hear about Nigeria politics, this comes to their mind, and a lot of people are scared. But like Plato, popularly said that one of the penalties of not getting involved in politics is that you be ruled or you be governed by your inferior. Is politics a dirty game? Yeah, to an extent you can say yes, but what do you do dirty clothes? You get detergent to wash them. So the conversation right now is how do we make this politics, how do we rebrand Nigeria politics in such a way that people will find a way to get involved. And in the 2019 election, we can see third party candidates, the people from different parties coming up. And I think it's a good one. What he's trying to do is to change that psyche and what we normally know. The fact is that over the last few years, Nigeria politics has been a messed up game and a dirty game. But as it is right now, I think things are getting better. And
okay, Mr. Martins, I'm just curious. Is it the game that is dirty, or is it the people in the game that make the game look dirty?
Obviously, it is the people in the game that make the game appear dirty. Politics, like any other human undertaking, is, if you like, something to be appreciated. It's something that makes things possible, that makes transition happen. So ordinarily, if good people are within the game, you see the beauty of the game. But if you have bad people in the game, obviously, for our experience, especially in this republic, I dare say that as of 1999, the problem was really was that transition going to happen? Because I was one of those who was relatively interested. But again, I had my doubts. Why will a military head of state stay in government for just maybe 8 months, 9 months, and will actually hand over? That was the problem. And as a result, a number of people who ordinarily might have maybe appeared like inferior, like he said, they took advantage, they took the risk, and eventually they found themselves in power. And since then, a good number of them have refused to leave the stage. They are now making the game appear dirty. Otherwise, politics is a beautiful game. When you begin to hear things like, when I was a child, I had no shoes, I had to go with my father to the canoe and all of that. Beautiful, lovely. When you hear good stories, and Obama comes from practically nowhere, so to say, a black guy, a Kenyan by all standards, and he ends up as the president of America. Lovely game. It makes everything possible. If you have a good idea, if you can sell your potential, the people will go with you. But unfortunately, they are not allowing our votes to count.
Let's take a look at the double-edged sword of having the godfatherism in Nigeria. How does this make the political landscape dirty? Because at the end of the day, these kingmakers, or which other word do I use to describe them?
Powers behind the throne.
Powers behind the throne.
Yes.
How then do we now, because they would say, well, we want a leadership of service, we are good people, we are X, Y, Z, we have your intentions at heart. But at the end of the day, we always see manipulations and politicking and a whole lot of things we can't even describe. So how does godfatherism really make politics a dirty game?
If I may come in, the last time I was here, I said something about, you know, results not really reflecting what happens in the field. That is what gives the godfather some kind of power. If you remember, we had, I want to believe, Adedibu or so in Ibadan, strong man of Ibadan politics, not really lettered, not really, but he knew how to get results. Not necessarily the results that happen in the field, and we're also having that kind of experience in Lagos. The truth is, one of the solutions will be that we have what I said the last time, which was to have integrity of results, which is photo evidence for every polling unit. It makes it impossible for anybody to manipulate the system. If you have the results of your polling booth, I have at mine, he has at his. The truth is, there is nobody, not even the government, can feed everybody with the kind of money that will make us happy to sell our consciences. Having said that, the truth is, where we are right now in Nigeria, we really need to ask ourselves, are we doing the right thing to move Nigeria forward in terms of
the
politics?
snail and the slime. You can't really remove the two, separate.
Well, some people have said that
godfathers are terrible for the system.
Some people
they must be taken out. Yes.
Well, we'll see about that. But some people have said that young, intelligent people have been somewhat kept out, literally, from the game by those who call themselves godfathers, kingmakers, dons. You know, and if you must belong, you have to get your hands dirty. You have to join the cabals, you know.
Simply put,
yes, you have to serve and climb up the ladder. You know, you must be in the Nigerian parlance, a boy to one of the big guys before you can finally get, you know, is that really the case? And is that why we have not really necessarily grown in our, you know, level of politicking?
And adding to what Miriam just said, because there are some individuals that will know, well, this person has some level of integrity, and he gets to that office and he sees white and starts calling it grey, and after a while he says, well, it's just pitch black.
Well, I think it's important for us to understand that our political culture plays an important role here. All right? And the truth is that we have people that think that politics doesn't matter. Politics controls everything. It controls the economics, it controls the religion, it controls basically everything. But what happens is that Nigerians are divorced from getting involved in the actual game, all right, and they expect results.
But do you not think that it's because of how it's been presented over the years, how volatile it's become, how violent, how removed it has become? That's why Nigerians are not getting involved.
I understand that fears, they're valid. All right, but the question should be at this point, how do we get over this? Because the truth is this, all right, like you rightly said, and the questions you asked us, which is true, all right, the Nigerian politics appears to be a dirty game, and that's the truth, all right. In Lagos, for example, let me say it, all right, we have a situation where the intellectuals are not being given the right push, whereas the touts, the one that the popular musician Tennis sang about, right? He's somewhere in the US now, relaxing and chilling.
He's back.
But okay, he's back. So, but the truth is this, right? These are the people that the so-called godfathers are feeding, and you know why? Because they benefit from this mess. So, what happens is that at this point, the conversation should be, how do the intellectuals? Because they don't want to give you power because they know that if you get in there, you make the right change. So the truth now is a game of number. Police is a game of numbers. So, for example, let me use Etios local government, for example. What happens? The Etios local government, for example, in Lagos is one of like the best places in Lagos, where you have the high-end people, the intellectual, the smart people. You can't compare the people here to the people that somewhere at the far, like the low-end part of Lagos. What happens? Why can't they come together and start thinking about, why don't you have a community? Why don't you have a voice? This is the only way you can defeat these people. Because the truth is this: power is never served like a tea. Power is not on the menu. They're not going to give it to you.
If it's not going to be given, let's look at scenarios where we've had the likes of Theodoro Mbasogo, Robert Mugabe, and a whole lot more. And now in Nigeria, those who are really running and we see as the keen contestants are people who know how to... The Buharis and the Atikus, these are people well in their 70s and 80s, and some believe even in their 90s. Now, these are people who understand how politics is being played. They understand every single manipulation, even the human psyche and psychology of the people that they're expected to lead, or some others would say rule. Do you also not think that the situation where we always embrace these older folks and we've not been able to shift that narrative or have a paradigm shift from these old faces that we're used to, that we're just plain comfortable and think that, well, they know better and they will leave. Despite the situations of flaws, we still have them in office.
Well, for me, I don't have an issue with age, all right? I'm not having issue. What I'm interested in is the age of your ideas, all right? In this country, let me start, for example, the current governor of Kogi State is one of the youngest. And by all indices, he has performed terribly. In 1999, Mbaduchi Mbaduju was the governor of Anambra State. That's my home state. Anambra State was the first state in the history of this country that started owing salaries for months before the Areba Shoras and the rest of them start trying to beat his record. So it's not about, we have had young governors that made a mess of leadership in Nigeria. I can give you names. Chimaroke Namani in Enugu State. All right?
Well, the popular story is the older faces making a mess of everything.
The truth is this. See, this is where we have to make a distinction, all right? The truth is this, that the people, where are the lucky Winedians? They were governors in the 1999. Where are they today? All right, so where is Ribadu? All right, so these are people that are supposed to step up. Where are they? So they are not ready to do that. And if you're not ready to do that...
Well, there's also a school of thought that says these same people who are saying they're older, they're wiser, have edged these other young guys out. Look at Donald Duke today. He has to fight tooth and nail to get his... So the thing again is we go back to that whole idea of the fact that
Donald Duke was from, sorry.
We still go back to that idea of, hey, these are the cabals, these are the godfathers. These young people have to pay. They have to pay their dues until they get to our age.
Donald Duke that was a former governor.
Is wisdom really about how old you are?
And became the governor. No. So Donald Duke understands what it needs for him to be the president, because he was a former governor. He was a young guy. So at this point, if he's not ready to do it, to be the president, I don't think anybody should blame me.
What's that thing that he needs to do?
Okay, part of the things that you need to do, you have to have a national appeal. You have to sell a message. People need to believe in you. People need to know that you're ready to do something, all right? Obama did it. You see, the thing is that Nigerian, the young politicians believe in this mirage, that this illusion. For example, Barack Obama was a senator. He served. He was a community mobilizer in Chicago, right? Yeah. And from there, he moved to the presidency. He didn't just jump out from anywhere. But we have people in Nigeria in 2019, 3 weeks to the election, that are coming out, they want to be president and governors, whereas we've not done anything in your community. If I take your name and go to your village, maybe you're from Anambra to Abagana or somewhere, and ask them, do you know this person? Your village people, they don't know you. So I don't understand how, if you cannot win your house and you want to win somebody in Zamfara, that maybe some of them in Zamfara, they don't have TV, they don't even have YouTube, but you expect them to vote you, whereas you've not done something appreciable and done. Okay. So that is my argument. So basically
you're saying you need to have a national appeal for people to vote.
No, but that is if you're going for a higher office, if you're going for the presidency. There are local elections, there are small elections.
Start there.
The truth is, you can start from anywhere, but what are you bringing on the table?